Alright, making a first video. We'll see how this one turns out. I don't know, might not end up first, but I guess we'll see. Pretty comfortable right here. I don't know. It's not a bad day. Sun's out. Still hear the traffic from here, but that's whatever. Jabbed my finger earlier and a toothache, but I got some ibuprofen, so it's not a big deal. Still, I did make the claim perfect. So, I have everything I need. I mean, it isn't very much, but I've got my transportation, I've got my car, paid in full, no debt. I've got a nice place to live. Admittedly, roommates kind of annoying, but rent's super cheap and I don't mind. They're quiet, I'm quiet. No issues. I mean, I can't imagine having a giant ass house just to myself. I mean, I prefer to live alone, but I basically live alone. So that's, I mean, it's good for the most part. But everything's actually great, very comfortable. There's no really other possessions I need. I mean, even driving up here, you see these nice cars. It really doesn't bother me that I don't have it. I have no desire to have it, especially those ugly ass Tesla cars. Been quite a few of those around. Yeah, I mean, you see the nice things. You go further up in this state and there's some really nice homes. Really nice real estate. I don't know, it just doesn't appeal to me. I don't care. It feels like it wouldn't do anything for me. And I've known that for a while. I've actually known that for most of my life. These things I've been in big homes, I've been in nice cars, and I don't care. I really don't care. So yeah, I mean, I've never had big dreams of owning anything spectacular. I guess you could say I'm not ambitious, but I think I am, just more on ideas. But ambitions for possessions, not really. It just doesn't appeal to me that way. And being alone, I mean, I've always kind of want to be alone. So, you know, finding a partner, a wife, whatever, I mean, it would be nice, but I never saw myself that way. I never envisioned that, having a marriage and being married forever. It seemed awkward, seemed weird. Sharing everything forever, no matter what happened, and if not, you divorce. Divorce rates are so high, I don't know. It seemed unlikely and maybe not my thing. But basically my life is perfect. Everything is manageable. Like I said, I have some pains, whatnot. My lower back is kind of fucked, but I'm managing that right now, and it's actually pretty good. Besides that, I mean, I wouldn't say I have problems. I could say everything I need and I have is perfectly contained. So that's what I mean by perfect. So I could say that my glass is full. I could say that. But even if the glass is cracked, it's holding all the water, so to speak, that I need, that I want. So I wouldn't say perfection is having more and having all of that. But, you know, all you're really doing is you're just increasing your cup size. I mean, you're making this giant ass cup, you can't fill it all. And you're just creating a deeper well of deprivation. You build it up, water spills out. It's not really a good thing. I mean, once you experience these things, there's just the deprivation of them. New experiences have the most value. So once you've had the cars and this and that, I mean, once you've had all that, it's fleeting. And then the only thing left is, well, you need something better, or you need to maintain that at the very least. So it's so superficial, it's stupid. It's actually just fucking stupid. And even then, we could see just how miserable people are, you know, once they experience these things and it's taken away, you know, these fallen celebrities and whatnot. I mean, it's just the rise and the fall. And I don't even know what's worse. Just, you know, a big flame going out suddenly, or a slow descent of mountain into nothingness. I don't know. It both sounds kind of miserable to me. But it's kind of like sampling something from a great buffet, and then you lose access to it. You go in, you pay for it. You get like 5 minutes, you know, to whatever you want, and then you get kicked out. You've eaten too much or you haven't paid enough. And then you just want back in, and it's so stupid. It's all so circular and stupid. Oh, I mean, in that sense, we're infinitely deprived, though, because, like, why stop at the buffet? I mean, why not one more arm, one more leg, one more neuron, one more sensation? I mean, we can just keep going up and up and up in terms of what we want, what we have, and these deprivations that come with it. So it seems like it's just a high plummet the further you go up. I guess as a really weird example, but why the hell not, is non-hermaphrodites, so most people. Are they better off because they're deprived of these sensations that they can't feel? Are hermaphrodites better off because they can experience more sensations, assuming they're functional, of course? So, I mean, we can just keep going forever at that rate, infinitely. Just like, you know, one more sexual organ, one more limb, one more this, wings, so on and so forth. So, I mean, how deprived are we really? That's the question. How deprived are we really right now? I mean, everything we think we have, we're at our fullest. But we could just be deprived of one more experience that we haven't yet had. So, I mean, how much do we really need? So that is what I mean when I say my life is perfect, but it's a hell. It's a hell. So, I mean, you can even go the other way. You could say people who are asexual, they're better off entirely for that same reason, just because they don't have to experience that. They feel like they're missing out, but at the same time, they don't have to worry about the deprivation. So it goes both ways. So it seems like a double-edged sword. Well, both ways are bad. So it's not the traditional double-edged sword. But I mean, I imagine if we, as a species, humanity, were to try to achieve some kind of utopia, this is what the road would look like. We're, you know, building these things, more needs, more wants, more deprivations. You know, more cars, more orgasms, more sugar, more sex and drugs, more peaceful days like this. I guess it could get better. It's kind of cold. But really, these ambitions are just digging us deeper, this sort of cavern of desire. So instead of building up towards something, we're actually kind of digging down into the dirt. And for every foot that we go down, we're actually just digging a foot more of deprivation. That's how I see it. And in the process, we also suffocate others behind us while we're digging. And eventually, ourselves, we cave in. This massive cavern of these needs that we have to fill that we can't fill. Certainly not for everyone. I can't complain because, I can, but I'm in a pretty good state, good country, first world country, United States. And there's still people living in absolute hell. Of Of course I realize that. This cavern that we're excavating of needs and wants, it's just a giant grave. We're just digging a giant grave. And we're just going to keep going. And it was funny, I was thinking, when I came here, I have this whole park to myself. And, well, I was thinking that we're overpopulated, but I have this entire damn park to myself. No one's here. One person walked by earlier, and that's it. Been here for almost an hour. Completely by myself. The maintenance and costs and everything, it's well kept. It's nice. All this excess. I mean, right now it's excess, but it's like even when we have the things we want and we need, we don't fill them properly. Everyone's at work. Everyone's busy. Everyone's doing something else. It's almost like all this is wasted. So even when we have what we need, it's all wasted. It makes me feel bad that I have this. I mean, it feels nice. I don't like other people, but I mean, all this park, I mean, it goes for miles, and there's a dozen other parks around me. It's quite a lot. And then think of all the golf courses and everything. Just think of all the wasted land. At the same time, we are overpopulated, so I mean, it's just where the resources are. But it's just so funny how things go both ways. But both ways, it's a negative. I mean, for me, I get to experience this area by myself, but everyone else who could be here instead of being at work, you know, who's really missing out here? Is my comfort right now, you know, paying off for everyone who would rather be here? Probably not. So, I mean, we're just living life. I don't know, I guess my phone was acting up. But yeah, we're just doing monotonous daily tasks. And even when we're doing these tasks, even when everyone's at work, I mean, they have to fill in their minds. They have to occupy their minds with something. Or they're going to go crazy. They're going to get bored. They have to talk to their stupid-ass coworkers with some bullshit, small talk, same shit every day. Once you've talked to someone for a week, you know everything they've said about their life. Anything deeper is just... it's meaningless, or it's trivial, or it's important, but there's really not much you can do about the situation. Basically every moment, even when we're at work, we're just spent doing these stupid tasks for rich people just so they could be in better boats. So even they're yearning for more. We're yearning for a lot more. We need more. They want more, but everyone is just searching for more. So, is there a perfect? No. I mean, I would define my life as perfect, but also in the sense that it's a perfect hell. And so we just have to spend all these like boring moments where we don't want to be at work, moments that we're just relaxing, you know, with art, living moment to moment. I mean, it is necessary, though. Otherwise, we might go a little too crazy. And we already are, so who knows? I mean, we do these things. Nobody wants to see the real freak show that's going on around us. So we have to put on this masquerade. We do all these silly things, these songs and dances. Pretend we don't have to sit at work 9 to 5 and feel like we have to gouge our eyes out. Smile even if you're miserable. I mean, it's fine. Smiling's good, though. You shouldn't focus on being miserable, but, I mean, it is there. I'm also saying that the masquerade, it's a little much. It's a little much. But even me, like, when I'm talking about perfection in my life, I mean, I have access to all the art I like to see and I like to create. I'm doing a bit of writing. It's just a pain in the ass. It's very painstakingly long. It's arduous. It's icky. You have to constantly go and edit, delete, start over, throw it all away. And creating music, it's just a pain in the ass. When you're creating art, it's just... I'm not the greatest artist, but if you don't focus on it, you just lose it. And if you focus too hard on it, then it doesn't become art. It's just like this annoying task. It's this chore. It's not art anymore. It's art for other people. It's like the art itself dies by the time you finished it. So even these precious things and these moment-to-moment frames where we, keep ourselves busy, express ourselves, even those things they're worn down, they're chafed down by life. So it is kind of sad in that regard. But it is nice that there's enough people around to see enough art in a lifetime. Perhaps too much, but that's the dopamine. So, about hell though, technically this could be worse than hell, life itself. Because what do we know about hell? What are the speculations about hell? Traditionally, it's infinite, burning forever, torture, pain, suffering. Okay, so in that regard, infinite suffering. Okay, we have that. As per Christianity and others. But what could make this worse? Well, I don't think hell's real. Not the Christian hell. I don't think a body or even a soul. I don't believe in souls, but I don't think it could experience that forever. Even if it could experience it forever, don't you think it'd get used to it? It wouldn't really be hell. Being bored forever would be hell, I suppose, but that's bad in itself, but we could just be ignorant about the time we spend here, and we keep popping out kids. We keep just repeating this cycle. And we don't realize it's hell. See, even in hell, you wouldn't bring children into it. You wouldn't bring more people into that. So, really, it could be worse than hell because we're being tricked into continuing this. Even if it's, not as bad in terms of suffering. But gradually it will become that because we create more people. And greater deprivations, as I described earlier. So, in a way, it could be worse that way. And we're sinless. There's sinlessness when we come into this world. So we're damned into this world, this piece of shit world. It is miserable. And yeah, we can dress it up a little bit so we can go about our days, but it's a shithole. As I say that, sitting here on a nice day. But it is. Because I'm not just thinking about myself. There's 8 billion people. Most of them probably not nearly as comfortable as I am right now. So I don't know. It is kind of silly, though, that I focus on other people while I should be enjoying myself. But that's what you do also. It's like even at your best, you look down on others. Is that really the world you want to come into? There's a couple things I got first in my life. A couple things. I won't mention them. They weren't too important. But it's just like you rub these trophies in people's faces. Well, I didn't, but it's just like you have a moment of, oh, wow. And then it's over. It's so what? It's very so what after. It's so trivial. You realize it's pretty pointless. And everyone beneath you've made them feel bad because they're not first. Well, more deprivation there, I suppose. But yeah, this hell, it's made me detached. Politics and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know. I just have to focus on my own time and how I feel fulfilled. But yeah, also in a way it could be worse than hell because we're constantly evolving. We're constantly changing. So in hell, if everything is, assuming it's damnation, that kind of hell, things don't change. I mean, that is awful, terrible, but imagine you're constantly changing, improving, or at least seemingly improving. Imagine you're doing that, but you're never actually going anywhere. You're never getting better. In fact, it's getting worse. Every step up the mountain, you're actually sliding down and you don't realize it. And you're just stepping on other people. And then you're bringing other people into it. What the fuck? What the fuck? Even in that kind of hell, being damned forever, unchanging, at least you can understand why. At least you believe yourself to be there for a good reason, maybe. At least, maybe you could justify it. Well, you can't, but if there was free will, then you could say, well, I was sinful. I deserve to be there. But being here, no. We're sinless. We're brought into this sinless. All of us. I don't bring others. Life is certainly an imbroglio. It's chaotic. Yeah, I don't know, we put on these parties and stuff, but we don't explain to the guests what they're getting themselves into. So I would say don't drag more people into this. I mean, do the best you can do, be the best you can be. Try not to be miserable. I mean, try to squeeze every moment you can out of it. Like, I am enjoying being here on my day off. I'm on vacation for a couple weeks too. I'm enjoying this. It's a little cold, My toothache went away. No, I'm doing pretty good. But, I mean, sitting here, doing this, I mean, it's so weird. I feel like I've had this conversation 1,000 times with myself. This is like the first time I'm filming it. I don't know, this is all kind of bizarre to me. Sitting here talking about it and then recording it. I'd actually be surprised if I uploaded this at all, but we'll see. I don't know. Like, life seems like a setup to some kind of joke. And maybe we're just the poor punchlines of this joke. I don't know. Maybe that's too edgy to say, but this really feels like a joke, except that would presume a god, so I don't think I buy into that one. It's more like a bad game. It's more like a bad game where we were the ones that manifested into this. But there is a way out eventually, hopefully. I would say, since that's guaranteed, hold out. And I mean, life is way easier when you're doing things rather than when you're thinking about things. If you think too much, it's going to get a little too fucking crazy. You definitely don't want to do that. But it's almost worse than a game, though. It's like you're stuck in a labyrinth, like the Minotaur's labyrinth. So I would say, it's not about allowing an easier escape out of the Minotaur's labyrinth. It would be about sealing off the entrance forever. So if you could make a choice, if you could get out, even cutting off his head, you could do that, but others may come stumbling through. Another Minotaur might appear, let's say. I would say just seal off the entrance. If you could do it, just seal it off. And, for creatures of our environment, then let's just close off the environment. I mean, that's to assume that we're perfect when we come into this world, and it's the environment, circumstances that shape us, and then we become fucked up. If that is true, if we're really fated to our circumstances and environment, then let's close that off. Because maybe people are perfect until they're subjected to, their surroundings. So I'd say, make your art reflect a little and then just move on. Close that fucking door. Try to enjoy it, but, leave it in the burning building. Oh, it's a silly game. All this. It really is just a silly game. It's pretty pointless. I guess the next thing you'd have to think about is life outside this planet, alien life. But, I would actually assume that they've already taken steps, if they've been around, or if they will be around. I think there's probably some kind of threshold for intelligence, beyond the survival instinct. There's this threshold for intelligence which realizes its own burden. So it knows the game. It's come to this point. It knows evolution. It's too aware, to fall for the silly little nature games. So they might have already taken steps. So it could very well be that we're just in some kind of cosmic graveyard, Earth. And there will be others, there have been others, possibly. Assuming the size of the universe. So I would say it's kind of like the dead internet theory for this universe. But I don't know. I don't think we're going to see anything. I think we're just digging our own grave. It's much too far apart to see theirs, but who knows? I'm kind of getting cold, actually, so I gotta move around. I think I'll walk a little more. Alright, I think that should be enough. So, appreciate it if you listen to this far. And I do hope you have a good day.